Sixers fans, what's up? Welcome back. Look, it's a totally different setup right now. I'm down the shore. I'm on the beach. I'm all burnt. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk Sixers. It's been a while. I'm on vacation, guys. Don't sue me. All right, let's get into it. So there's been so much over the past couple of days. For one, Golden State is probably out of the Ben Simmons sweepstakes, which as a Sixers fan, I love to hear because the last thing I want to do is see Andrew Wiggins in a Sixers jersey. The last thing I want to do. I'll rather see Ben Simmons run it back with the team than see Andrew Wiggins in a Sixers jersey. I simply do not want to see that. I think there is smoke in the Damian Lillard sweepstakes. I think there is stuff going on there. I think the best package, as I've probably said multiple times now, is going to be Simmons, Thibault, Maxey, 2 first-rounders, and then 3 first-round pick swaps. Let's see if that can even push the needle. Let's see if Lillard wants out. Let's see what Portland sees. Let's see what the Warriors can offer them. I think Philadelphia has the best chance to go out and land a superstar, unless there's some big surprising move, which, to be honest, guys, would not surprise me because this is the NBA. The NBA off seasons for the past couple of seasons have been outrageous. They've been wild. There's been crazy stuff going on. There's always a big surprising move. And then this morning occurs. 2 things I see this morning. 1, the Toronto Raptors are seriously interested in Ben Simmons, and what I see one of 2 things. 1, they're willing to move on with Pascal Siakam, which I personally don't believe they are. And 2, they're willing to move that 4th pick. Okay, so let's see what's going to be available at 4. I think 1, 2, 3 is probably a surefire thing. It's going to be Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley. I think in that order, but it could be Cade, Mobley, and then Jalen Green. I think 4 is an interesting spot. I think most mocks, I personally believe as well, that Jalen Suggs is the 4th guy off the board. Scotty Barnes has been rumored to go up that high, but obviously I think in Philadelphia's case, Jalen Suggs would be a perfect fit. I just don't see Daryl Morey shipping out a guy who's a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time All-Defender, Rookie of the Year, 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year, for a guy who has never stepped foot on an NBA court. I think obviously the fit with Jalen Suggs is much better than the fit with Ben Simmons, but I don't see that happening. To me, we're moving backwards. In the future, it might be moving up, but I don't see Ben Simmons being moved for a future idea, a concept for the future. I just don't see that happening. What I personally see is something more on the lines of the Washington Wizards play. There are rumors that Bradley Beal will request a trade prior to Thursday's draft. Now, if that happens, I think the Sixers have the best case to go out and get him. I really believe Morey wants Lillard. I really, really do. I think Daryl Morey is going to throw all the eggs in his basket to go out and get Lillard. But that being said, there's only so much you can do if the player does not want to leave. Lillard's on a multi-year contract extension. I think it's kicking in this year, too, and I think he has 4 years left. I don't see at all in any universe Portland trading Lillard if Lillard does not want to get traded. It just doesn't make any sense. If Lillard doesn't want out, they're not going to trade Lillard. It's just not going to work out like that. I think Bradley Beal is the next best option. I think Beal is a top 20 guy. I do. I think Damian Lillard is a top 8 guy. But what I think is going to occur if Lillard's off the board is I think we have the best package to go out and get Bradley Beal. I think other teams like Golden State are going to be interested. I think Boston has a chance. I think Boston has a pretty good package to go out and get anybody if they're willing to part ways with Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is probably the best guy available for a team that would make a move. But I don't see Boston moving on with Jaylen Brown, a guy who has put up 24 a game last year at 24 years old, I believe. For a guy of Bradley Beal's stature, I don't see that. I think Jaylen Brown is arguably close to Bradley Beal's talent, and he's much younger. I don't see that trade being moved. But Philadelphia's case is different. I think trading Ben Simmons to the Washington Wizards along with a first-round pick, maybe 2, and a guy of, Tyrese Maxey, maybe. I saw a projected trade of Bradley Beal to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons, Isaiah Joe, and a first-rounder, which I would do that in a heartbeat. I love Isaiah Joe, but I would do that in a heartbeat. But I see that as underwhelming for Washington. I think it's not enough. I don't think that's enough. I think it's going to be a multi-first round type of trade. So that being said, I think Philadelphia needs to push all their eggs in the one basket. Second time I'm saying that. That's rough. I really believe Philadelphia needs to go out and do anything possible to bring in Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. I would stop at nothing. It might sound desperate, it might sound stupid, and it really might hurt us, but if you really sit back and you really look at Philadelphia's situation, I think it's a lose-lose regardless of how we handle this, and the best case scenario is to go for it, because Embiid's Supermax is coming up soon. If he makes another All-NBA team, which obviously I think he will, it's going to be like $55 million a year for a guy of Joel Embiid's status, right? And I love Embiid as much, if not more, than the next guy. But to pay a guy who, let's be real, probably will never play a full season in the NBA, $55 million a year for 5-6 years is outrageous. It's outrageous, but you have to do it. You have to do it. So, I mean, if you think about it, worst case scenario, we go out and we get a guy of Bradley Beal, who's on a shorter contract than Lillard. They underwhelm in Philadelphia. Bradley Beal leaves, and we have Embiid on a supermax contract without any first-round picks in the future, and he is just hurt. And we don't have guys like Maxey or Thibault or younger developing guys, and we are just bad, but we're bad without picks, which is the worst thing you can be in the NBA, is bad without picks. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it because you need to take the shot right now. You need to take a shot to get a superstar player to match along Embiid right now, because Embiid's window realistically is looking like 2 years, 3 years maybe, and of peak basketball, maybe. You need to go out and make him the best player possible by surrounding him with guys who can go out and get their own bucket, because, dude, we need a Bradley Beal. We need a Damian Lillard, arguably more than any other team in the NBA. We don't have a shot creator, and if the playoffs told you anything this year, it's that you need to have a shot creator. Look at Chris Middleton, what he did, what he brought to the team. Look at Devin Booker. I mean, even Chris Paul in the mid-range game, and Giannis is on another planet. I don't even need to talk about Giannis. I mean, well-deserved MVP. It's been a while since my last video that I haven't even talked about the Bucks, and I'm sure that can be a video later on if you guys want to hear about it. But right now, I am saying the Sixers need to go all in. I think it's the only possible solution to the problem at hand, and it may really kick us in the butt, in a couple of years, but I think it's just something you have to do. You have to push for it. I mean, look at the Raptors. If you would say, is it worth it being the fourth pick and just being really bad this year, despite trading, whatever, just trading DeMar DeRozan, trading things like that to go out and get Kawhi Leonard for one season? Yeah, that was worth it. They won an NBA championship. That's worth it. I think Philadelphia can arguably say that they are approaching that same territory, and I think they need to go out and do it. They need to just take a risk, and I think this is the risk they need to take. Hopefully there'll be updates. I can't wait for the draft, guys. I mean, I am ecstatic for the NBA draft. That's my favorite time of year. Peace.